Okay, let's talk about the new budget iPad, or the iPad 8th generation. It's faster and better than before, yes, and it still costs just $330, which makes it extremely hard for me to criticize it, because yes, it's cheap, and it's good. But I have the feeling that it is incredibly obvious now that Apple is just playing around with us, and since there is no competition in sight, it can afford to skip some features that are just so obviously due for upgrade. So instead of talking about what's new, let's start by talking about what you don't get with this budget model for yet another year. And let me be clear, this is, in my opinion, by far the best budget tablet around. I just wish it was a bit better. All clear? So let's go. And the first thing missing on the new iPad 8th generation is USB-C. And this is now incredibly obvious, as all other iPads have it, and it is clearly a feature that Apple thinks is the future of the iPad series. Does it cost Apple more to include the USB-C port instead of Lightning? I seriously doubt that, but they just didn't include it on this budget model, and I find this so maddening how such a small upgrade could have easily made it into this year's model. And please, let's USB-C all things once and for all and end with all the cable madness. Please? And the other extremely infuriating thing is that the base iPad model has just 32 gigabytes of native storage. Are you kidding me? Can we get on with the times and have at least 64 gigabytes of storage so you don't have to wonder about which game to delete after you've used your iPad for just a couple of months and storage has already been depleted? Sure, having less storage on an iPad is not quite as critical as on an iPhone, but it's still incredibly frustrating that Apple cuts the meat to the bone this way. And yes, I get it, this budget iPad is so good that if Apple included these two features alone, it could have seriously cannibalized sales of the $600 iPad Air. But in my opinion, never before have two features been so obviously due for upgrade, and the intentionality behind Apple not upgrading them just seems a bit too transparent. And yes, there are more nuanced details that I can think of that make the iPad Air the better tablet than this one. But those I expect to be compromised in a budget tablet. For example, here's one more thing strangely missing. While this budget iPad supports the Apple Pencil, it only works with the first gen Apple Pencil, the one that you have to weirdly stick in the Lightning port to charge it up. Yep, for some reason you won't be able to use the modern second gen Pencil, which is only compatible with the $600 iPad Air. A bit annoying, yes, but the essential functionality of writing with a pencil is still supported. And this 8th gen iPad doesn't support the cool floating Magic Keyboard, but that alone costs $300, so I doubt anyone would realistically miss not having support for it on an iPad that costs about as much as the keyboard. And let's not forget the one feature that has me personally convinced that I should buy the iPad Air over this budget model, and that's the screen. The 8th gen budget iPad has a 10.2-inch regular LCD screen, which looks good. But the iPad Air has a gorgeous, bigger and sharper 10.9-inch liquid retina screen with a wide color gamut that makes colors come to life in an amazing way, while the budget model features lower brightness and slightly bleaker colors. If you care about the screen, you just want the $600 model. But you kind of expect this to be a difference in the budget model. And the core function of a good display is still here on the budget iPad Air, it's just not quite amazing. Or take the speakers. The iPad Air has 4 speakers, 2 on the bottom and 2 on the top, which provides stereo sound and landscape orientation, and that's great. The budget iPad that we have here only has 2 speakers, and no stereo sound effect when you hold it horizontally. But it still provides the basic feature of good sound, and you kind of expect it not to have an amazing sound, this being a budget tablet. So yeah, you probably get my point. The new 8th gen iPad is faster than before with the Apple A12 chip inside versus the quite old Apple A10 that was used before. So you do get 40% boost in performance and twice the GPU power. And it has that Neuro engine. If you care about augmented reality, I doubt many people do. But that's about everything that's new. So at the end of the day, should you buy the new budget iPad? Well, this is frustrating for me because this is still clearly the best budget tablet around. And yes, if you want a cheap iPad, you should buy this one. But I'm biting my nails as I'm saying this because it could have been just a bit better, a bit less compromised, a bit less frustrating. And it's a bit disappointing for me personally. But there is one other gadget where Apple has really shifted gears, and that's the new iPad Air. If you have $600 to spend, that tablet is just Apple at its finest. So make sure you check out my video explaining what makes it so attractive in the description box below. Thanks for watching, thumbs up if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. My name is Vic, this is PhoneArena, and I'll see you around.